All right, we're live. So what we're doing here, well, I guess before we start, I'm just going to introduce everybody and do a ring around the rosy so everybody can introduce themselves. My name is Aldo, and we're going to start.
Chris B.
Big Nick.
Mike H.
Nasser D, I'm from Norwalk, Connecticut.
Really? Okay. So what we're going to do here is I just figured I'd get you all together. We can do an informal talk, off the cuff, shoot the shit type of thing about. And then we got people getting calls. All right. But again, this is all one take. It don't matter.
I thought this was a closed set. Why are we using cell phones?
Yeah, no shit. All right, so we're going to talk about WWE's big pay-per-view tomorrow, NXT TakeOver, which is hitting the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. For the first time, NXT is hitting a major arena style capacity. Hopefully for the only time. I would rather it not stay like that.
Yeah,
Well,
also,
I mean,
Aldo-
I've read some.
Go ahead.
I've been reading like comments of NXT on Twitter or whatever. They're saying that this is the first
I hope
big
not.
event, so hopefully it's not.
If it's something to do once in a year, that's great. But if it's anything more than that, I would rather not. So let's just, I guess we're going to run down the card, and then we're going to give some predictions, who we think is going to win the match, and maybe some general observations of the people there. So we're going to talk about the undercard, and I guess we're going to start with the tag team match. We've got the Hype Brothers, Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder versus Enzo and Big Cass.
Woo, woo, woo.
Actually, no, I'm completely mistaken. They are teaming together as a unit versus Jason Jordan and Chad Gable and Dash and Dawson. Which, so it's going to be, two teams versus two teams.
Wait, when did this happen?
That's what it says on the card here.
So Enzo and Cass.
So Enzo and Cass, along with Ryder and Mojo,
Card subject to change.
versus
Gentlemen.
Jason Jordan, Chad Gable, Dash and Dawson.
They may be Willing and Gable,
Willing and Gable.
but they're still soft.
That's true.
Card subject to
And
change. It
sloppy.
sounds like a making things happen production.
Yeah, no shit. All right, so we're just going to go around the table and give some general predictions about who's going to win the match. I guess I'll start. Obviously, Enzo and Big Cass, this would be a homecoming for them, so, you would expect the arena's going to blow through the roof for them. But it really doesn't matter if they win or not, because, again, there's no gold here, no title. Honestly, they should have been in the title picture. But I'm pretty sure that they're going to win with Mojo and Zack Ryder. Because, just recently you got Jason Jordan and Chad Gable as a team. They're flowing all right. Jason Jordan is kind of boring, though. Chad Gable is kind of growing out of he's kind of like a Kurt Angle character, starting off, because, he's got the Olympic collegiate wrestling experience. But at this point, him winning is not really going to do anything for his career, since he's kind of in the bottom anyways. You got plenty more months for him to develop as a character and get his gimmick going, which is funny, the Ready, Willing, and Gable thing.
Yeah,
It's
it's
catchy.
funny,
It's catchy.
works.
but it's also going to serve as a, like a springboard to the next step for them.
Yeah. I mean,
they're a fresh tag team, and they seem to be technically compatible.
Yeah, but again, them mixed with Dash and Dawson, or kind of like the Passion Brothers or something like that, where they're just these two guys that you don't really know. You can't tell them apart. They're just brawlers, powerhouses. Again, they don't have that chemistry, right? Or no one really cares. But, yeah, I mean, if I were to predict Enzo and Cass are going to win along with the Hype Brothers, it's pretty much a guarantee. What does everybody else think?
I think you're wrong about. It doesn't matter if Enzo and Cass win or lose. I think they need to win because it's New York. So if they lose, the crowd is gonna go crazy and get pissed off.
I don't know about all that. I mean, John Cena's lost in Boston before. Edge lost in Canada in a fucking TLC match.
That's true, but who's running NXT?
I mean,
well, that's a good point, too, because obviously it's Triple H's show. So if this were Vince promoting the match,
Vince likes to
obviously
piss off the
he
crowd.
likes the hometown people to always lose, right? Get humiliated.
to a certain extent, though.
In most cases.
In most cases.
But we've established that the result of this match doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's a homecoming. They're going to perform in front of their crowd.
I mean, they're going to get a huge ovation.
Yeah, Zack Ryder too, Long Island Iced Tea, man.
To me, it doesn't matter who wins this
Ice-T.
match. You know,
Ice-T.
I think Enzo and Cash should be in the main tag team match, but I mean that's just me. I'm just excited to be seeing it live.
They've kind of missed their window, and so now they're being buried a bit by other fresh tag teams, returning and becoming more popular. They're trying to push other tag teams over for the crowd's sake, but Enzo and Cass still steal the show, and the match is gonna come down to how well Big Cass performs.
Yeah, because again, Enzo Amore, as great of a hype man as he is, as great as he is to get the crowd energetic in the ring, he's really very mediocre, right? He's not good.
It's all about Big Cass.
Well, that's the point of their team, though. He's supposed to be that weak link.
Right, which is why the match
Which
is
is
going
why
to
they're
depend
such
on,
a great tag team.
It's why the match is going to depend on Big Cass. If he has a great night, I mean that match is going to be outstanding.
Yeah, I mean again, nothing
And
wrong
you
with
still have the X Factor.
nothing wrong with Big Cass, but at the same time, Cass kind of has a formula that he goes through. You know, Enzo's getting his ass beat, he tags in, and then he does his clotheslines, and he powers out for a second and gets the
Reminiscent
crowd.
of 4-move Super Cena.
Yeah, but
That's his formula.
Reminiscent of Mike Awesome is what he's reminiscent.
But again, they have chemistry through the roof,
Oh, yeah.
and their gimmick is working, right? So, with the Brooklyn crowd, I think it's, without a doubt, we can all say that they're going to...
I think it's their last show in NXT. I think they're going to...
I don't think so. I don't think they're ready for the main roster yet.
They're not. They have to win the belts first.
I don't think they do. I'm gonna agree with Chris. I think they need fresher tag teams on the main roster. Ever since the Usos left and the Wyatts disbanded.
Okay, but Enzo and Cass are, I mean, Lord knows they're crowd favorites. They have the gimmick, they have the chemistry, but in ring, can you see them putting up a match, really a good match against the Lucha Dragons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
An entertaining match.
I personally,
An entertaining match.
I think entertainment because of how they're gonna approach it going into it. But once you're in the ring, I don't think they stand with tag teams like the Lucha Dragons. I mean, I don't think there's many tag teams that they can really perform.
Not
with
just on a technical in-ring level. I'm assuming this, obviously this venture in the Barclays Center is kind of like a field test to see how their gimmick translates to a bigger arena, right? Obviously, Enzo and Cass, okay, they get a huge reaction in the small Full Sail University, right? But when you translate it to something like the Barclays Center, is it something that is going to blow the roof off? Obviously, their hometown crowd, but it's kind of like a beta test, right? How well their gimmick translates in a bigger arena setting.
Is that in general or just them?
Just them.
Oh, okay.
Just them.
But, I mean, it's just
Vince
that out of
obviously
all
is going to be.
arenas-
Vince is going to be watching this, and he's going to be, looking at them, looking at the reaction the crowd gets. Can I sell merchandise at a Raw or SmackDown, just based off of these guys as is right now?
Definitely.
But this is the beta test. This is a large crowd. They're going to see how well they do here.
They've been on house shows in the past, though. They've done 2 or 3 in the past month. They've done house shows.
3 or 4.
Three or four. I mean, they're gonna rock the house no matter if it's 2,000 people, like a Ring of Honor show, or 40,000 people for one of the big 4 WWE pay-per-views. It doesn't matter.
I feel the whole reason NXT works is because it is that proving grounds, and they have a better setup to test teams coming in, even individual wrestlers.
That is true.
They're definitely being tested right now. So how well they do at this show will definitely determine the outcome for them as far as being on the main roster.
But then the next step is where the issue comes in. What do they do with them? Because they could do so well in NXT, and then they just throw them to Raw, and then it's like...
Well, that could be said about any wrestler at any point in
like
time.
Ascension.
So.
Well,
They were unstoppable in NXT, and then all of a sudden...
they turned them
They're a
into a
joke.
kind of a Heath Slater of tag teams right there. Is what they did.
I mean,
to him.
is that Vince's fault, or is it Kevin Dunn's fault? I mean, it's hard to say who it was.
I think them looking
that
like
said, let's slap that Legion of Doom.
them looking like the
demolition
Legion of Doom demolition didn't fucking help at all.
Stupid.
It's stupid. You can't rework 2 of the greatest tag teams in the history of professional wrestling and remarket them as 2 young guys. You just can't do it.
All right, let's go to the next match.
All right, so we're all in agreement that Enzo and Cass
Enzo and
and the
Cass.
Hype
Yeah.
Brothers are going to win, right?
Yes.
Okay, so moving on to the next match in the card, we've got Bull Dempsey versus Elias Sampson. Bull Dempsey obviously was marketed pre-Kevin Owens.
Who the fuck is Elias Sampson?
Elias Sampson used to be Buddy Murphy's old tag team partner before it was Blake and Murphy.
Murphy,
They were
yo.
nobodies, but Elias Sampson I think has been out, I guess just retraining at the Performance Center. Honestly, I can't picture a match with him, but this is Bull Dempsey's return after he became a comedy
Working
gimmick.
out.
You know, William Regal would call him out being a fat guy out of shape. You're a loser. Again, when he first came out, he was a Kevin Owens wannabe, Kevin Steen wannabe. He was, but then they got Kevin Steen. And they were like, "All right, fuck you, Bull Dempsey. We don't need you anymore. You're a jobber." But originally, he was supposed to be this old school powerhouse, uber aggressive guy who was relegated to comedy status. But now they're showing montages on NXT of him working out, training again.
See his new
But
shirt.
it's still
Built fit.
it's still comedy though. He's
Yeah,
still
so
comedy.
They're making him look like Bash and Boogers. What
I think
they're doing.
if
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
with the whole eating,
With the whole
thing,
eating thing, they're making him look like Bash and Booger.
to me he just doesn't have the potential for even mid card. But I mean, he could be one of those. He could be a fun jobber down the line if he embraces the comedy.
To me, he's a fat white R-Truth. That's all he is. I mean,
okay.
R-Truth worked great in TNA, but in WWE, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a quick match. I'm assuming it's going to be a squash match in Dempsey's favor, because if you're trying to repackage him into a new gimmick, he's gonna dominate.
That's when I go get the beers.
So yeah, that's going to be about a 5-minute match.
All I can say is I hope that match is first.
It might be an opener. Who knows?
Just get it out of the way. Maybe.
What's up?
We're at a live.
So I think we're all in agreement with Bull Dempsey, right? But it's kind of a thing where you don't really care because
Right. It's a
there's
throwaway match.
there's
Don't
nothing
care.
to
It's a
invest
throwaway.
with the character.
Definitely not.
All right, so moving on to the next match, we've got on the Diva side, we've got Eva Marie versus Carmella. So
Carmella all the way.
yeah, I mean Carmella's going to be the Princess of Staten Island. It's her
Although I'd
hometown.
like for Carmella to win the match,
And
and
they're-
even though it's her hometown,
They're gonna
there's
push
too much
Eva
weight
Marie.
behind Eva Marie.
Too
From
much
a
time
company
they've invested,
standpoint, they've got a lot invested in her, so I think they're gonna push her forward in this match.
Okay, so what do you think, Nick?
They're pushing the redhead, and she can't wrestle worth shit. I mean, that's pretty much all.
She's pretty horrible, but Carmella's not great in the ring either.
No, she isn't.
But that's,
No, but I mean-
that being said, the money's behind Eva Marie, so she's gonna win.
Eva Marie's been in WWE for what, 3 years now?
Yeah.
Two,
How mu-
3 years?
How much has she wrestled?
And she's wrestled, 5 matches, maybe?
Maybe.
They're dumping all this money into her, and then, Carmella just started wrestling, so, I mean, they're going to push her.
Yeah. So what do you think, Chris? Same thing. Eva Marie.
I think Eva
You're
Marie's
rooting
going
for-
to win, but I'd rather.
Rather Carmella gets it. Okay, so the Red Nation is.
So far, we've agreed.
I'd
on the
rather
same
I'd rather
things.
Carmella gets it because she's hot as hell and you can't teach that. But Eva Marie wins.
Yeah. Do you think she's going to get booed out the building, right? I mean,
course,
Eva
definitely.
Marie.
It's
One
New York.
can only hope so.
It's Brooklyn. Of course she's going to get booed out of the fucking building.
And it'll be telling to see how she reacts
I
because
hope
when
she
she
kicks fucking ass though.
when she showed up on NXT, they booed the hell out of her too, and you can tell that she was visibly upset. Like she can't handle that. If she can handle that from Full Sail, which is a crowd of what, 500?
She'll get better.
But if she
How
can
is she gonna
recover,
handle-
if she can recover from Brooklyn, God bless, she could be a fun heel.
Hey, you know what
But
Frank
that's it.
Sinatra said? If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
Yes.
That's
Can
all
I,
I got
can I
to
put in
say.
my
What
2
is it?
cents?
Yes.
I just want to say that she was caught off guard because the anticipation of the crowd, she thought she was going to be cheered. If she came in as the heel, she could embrace it more, and I think she missed an opportunity to actually taunt the crowd, knowing that they're booing, and she could have bought into it.
I agree.
It's her
And-
learning
and,
process.
and that already could have
I like
been
this
her
guy.
stepping stone because by her, already stepping on the toes of the people, she's gonna be booed until she earns that respect, and that's when they can flip her to being good or whatever the case may be.
Grab a seat.
So.
That's why I married him. He's smart.
I like the John Stark
It's her,
Goodman game.
I mean,
it's her stepping ground.
They set her up.
she's
I mean,
gotta-
her first in-ring interview with Jerry Lawler, she slapped the piss out of Jerry Lawler. They made her out to be a vicious heel, and then all of a sudden she's waving to fans and everything else. You got to pick one or the other. You can't just be middle ground.
Fiery redhead. Just
She's
make her
got
heel,
that,
let her embrace
but-
it.
But can she embrace it, right?
Yeah.
Because
She'll
she
get
looks,
better. That's
she
all I
looks
gotta
so
say. She's
visibly.
gonna get
I hope she gets
bothered by
better.
it.
But she's been around long enough, and
Yeah.
she still looks like she has no idea what she's doing.
I hope she gets-
Unfortunately, from a performance
I mean, again, she
standpoint,
has
I don't
been-
feel she can give a performance to save her life.
She has been training under Spanky, Brian Kendrick, for a while, but again, when she had her other match in NXT against who was it? The Jessie something, that Australian chick.
Yep.
Jessie carried that match. It was her relaunch. Okay, Eva Marie learned a few new moves, but the problem was you can tell that she was just running off of memory. There was no organic nature to her pulling off the moves. It looked very stiff. She was selling really bad. Her submission move was just really, really sloppily put in. So, I mean, again, that's, again, in a small, intimate crowd of 300-400 people. How is she going to handle that pressure of 12,000, 13,000
She's
tomorrow?
going to choke.
Is she going to choke?
Two things. She needs an acting coach, so she can come out aggressive and know what her character is, because she doesn't know, she hasn't found who she is yet. And two, once she wrestles enough, it'll then be muscle memory, where you're talking about how she's rough, she's not doing things smoothly. You could tell she's probably thinking about what's supposed to be coming next.
She's overanalyzing things right
Yeah.
now.
Once
But
she
again,
can sit down,
this-
she'll
This is kind of putting her like in
moves
a...
are A to B, but there's no focus on the journey to get from A to B. It's
she's
all learned.
Yeah,
She
she'll
She
get
hasn't
better.
had enough
She
matches.
has the
She has-
athleticism, so it'll come. How fast are they trying to push her? I think that's going to be either the rise of her or the fall of her, because people are going to get impatient because
They're
of
gonna
how
push-
much exposure there is.
Yeah, and they're,
you know,
they're,
I mean,
they took the time to send her back for retraining and go through. I just hope they give her time to develop in NXT.
to be honest with
If
you,
you're
I
going to
think,
push her, you got to give her time to develop.
I think what's hurting her character is she shouldn't be on Total Divas. It's exposing way too much. She should be up behind the scenes, and when she shows up and she actually does things that surprises people, it'd be more surprised rather than knowing that she's been training out in California for I don't know how long with so and so.
But if you
Total
recall,
Divas is
Total
acting, though.
was
It's not like reality, so she could be an asshole in the show
No,
and
I'm not
be
talking
an
about.
asshole
I'm not
heel.
talking about her being an asshole. I'm talking about her working on her techniques and her actually working behind
I mean,
the scenes.
but speaking of her training out in California, though, what makes her so special that she gets one-on-one time every day with a personal trainer?
what you said to me.
interest. It's all about the interest. Like Triple H says, it's what's best for business.
Yeah,
And
it's
if they're gonna push her, then they're gonna do what they need to do to get her to that. Because face it, she can't wrestle the way she is in WWE.
No,
Yeah.
You can't do that.
it's all in her look. That's why she's
And then
getting.
you see the
that's why
wrestlers
she's
that
getting the
NXT
attention.
has. You can't put her in there either. They're still advanced. So you have to work with her offset with a professional. So when she comes in, she's at least like a rookie going into the professionals rather than a high schooler going into the professionals. You just
Well,
get
going-
really-
going-
Her looks get her attention.
Yeah, she could be the total
If she
package
wouldn't,
if she
if her
just
hair,
got
if she
it.
wouldn't have dyed her hair red at the beginning of Total Divas, if that never happened, she would have been off the show because she's boring and she can't.
It's
perform.
all in the hair.
The hair is her character. All red, everything. They're really pushing that. She has
But she
something
came
to
in-
build on.
She came in as a
But she-
side piece.
Yeah, and she needs
You know,
she,
I
she
mean-
needs time to develop. But that's why she's getting the one-on-one treatment.
And right off the bat,
because
she lied
she's
to,
a product.
to dance with Fandango. She couldn't even do the dance. You know what I'm saying? And then they had to cut her real quick and bring in Summer Rae. So right off the
I
bat,
mean-
she was already starting on the wrong foot.
Going back to your Total Divas comment, if you remember, the show originally was meant to chronicle her and JoJo's journey
Yep.
as new hires in the company. Obviously, they moved JoJo out for whatever reason, maybe because she's too young or she's just not good in the ring. But Ava Marie has stayed on, and she's basically the one remaining factor in the show outside of the Bellas.
Yeah.
But again, we can all argue that the show is scripted.
Love
or-
her, hate her, love to watch her. That's all I'm saying.
She gains attention, right? But is it the correct move to put her under this gigantic microscope, which is going to be tomorrow night? She's going to get eviscerated no matter how you slice it. The New York crowd is not going to be in her.
If she wins,
on
they're
her
gonna
side.
hate her. If she loses, they're still gonna hate her.
She needs
It's what she
needs
can
to
learn
win-
from it.
She needs to win the match, and I think she needs to win the match, not by pin or doing her awesome, roll off her backflip move and stuff. What she needs to do is pull out a chair, slam someone through a table to get the crowd's attention. To okay, if it's gonna be done this way, now you have our attention. If she goes in, she misses a cue, people are gonna be sitting on every single move she does, so they can call her out because that's what people love to do. They love to troll, and they're gonna hit her hard. That's it.
I'll disagree with that only to the point that she needs to win the match. I don't think she needs to win. I think she needs to perform in the match. Whatever she does, just needs to be fluid
and it needs to look like she's.
That's why I
wrestling.
think it's best
So
if she.
I think whether she wins or
disqualification.
loses, if she puts on a performance, she'll gain some respect.
Or if she loses, we can roll with that. She loses and then loses her mind and then pulls out a table or and hits something. Something to leave you satisfying. Like there's got to be something to it. It can't just be a regular match. And then even if she wins or loses, like you said, it's. I still don't think it's
Just
gonna make
win
it
by
happen.
cheating.
So-
Become the ultimate heel.
Exit Osiris.
Yeah, but somehow I don't see that happening. I feel it's going to be a clean win from Ava Marie. She's going to do Brian Kendrick's move,
Yeah.
which is the running bulldog into the neck thing. She's going to beat Carmella. I mean, that's kind of. But I think this is more of Vince's field test to see, is all of the time and money I've invested in her as a brand, is it worth it, right? Close the door. So I think we're all in agreement, right? Eva Marie's going to win.
She's gonna win, yeah.
Rooting for Carmella, but
Rooting for Carmella, hoping she wins, but
it's not going to happen.
It's
Eva
not-
Marie wins. She's
not
got
gonna
booty
happen.
factor.
How you
But
doing?
at the other flip side of it, I think we can all gain enjoyment knowing that she's going to be fucking booed like no other.
Yeah, and we'll be part of it.
It's
Oh,
good.
That's what matters.
So it'll be interesting to tell. Is she going to crack mid-match? That's kind of the highlight, right? To see how she can handle that pressure. Because again, this is Full Sail University times 10. As far as scale goes.
I mean, this is New
I'm
York.
going in there intent on booing Eva Marie, but I'm also intent on watching the match and seeing if
Can she
she
do it?
can build on what she's starting here in NXT.
And again, because
if she can show improvement, sure, I'm still gonna hate her, but I'll respect her more. based
She's
on
got
her
everything
performance.
going against her because Carmella is not what you would call a great performer. So Carmella would have to carry the match, but she's not a ring general. She can't carry a match, right? So how are they gonna flow, if at all, right?
I think it's one of those things that we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens tomorrow night.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing.
All right, where we at? Match 3?
Yeah, so we're gonna move on to the next Divas match, which is a fatal 4-way. You got Charlotte versus Becky Lynch versus Emma versus Dana Brooke. All right, so it's a fatal 4-way. As far as who I think is gonna win, I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna be Becky Lynch. For some reason, you would think Charlotte, probably first impression Charlotte, but I don't think they've been pushing her as far as the new stable she's in with Paige and Becky. You haven't seen much out of Carmella. They seem to be pushing Becky Lynch more as of late. I have a feeling that she's going to win the match. But again, either way you see it, is it going to cause conflict between the new stable, the PCB or whatever they call each other?
I think the two entities are separate from each other. I mean, I don't think it'll affect the stable that they have going forward with PCB at all.
I mean, it's not for a belt or anything.
I think the match it's a 4-way fatal 4-way. I mean, you're gonna see some good wrestling. I think that's why Charlotte's in the match to begin with, because she can carry a match no matter who you throw in the ring with her. I think Dana Brooke needs that because she's
she's very green. Yeah.
she's really learning, and the more you can involve Charlotte with your new, or even just your not so top performers in that division.
But the sleeper hit could be Emma, right? Because Emma, back in the early NXT days, she had amazing matches. Back when they used to let her mat wrestle, along with the likes of Paige or even Charlotte. Her match with Paige in, was it the first TakeOver? Was incredible, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as of late, I don't know if they've limited Emma's moveset or told her to calm down on certain things. She's just not the same. Her turning heel, though, has helped. It's helped her develop more of a character.
But I also think that's for the benefit
And she's hotter.
of Dana
Of
Brooke.
Dana Brooke, yeah, to enhance her, yeah.
They're
Way
watering
hotter.
her down because I think they're watering Emma down because they want Dana Brooke to shine.
Well, she's
Who do you
Triple
think's
H's
gonna
pet
win?
project.
They want her to shine.
Who do you think's gonna win?
Who do I think is going to win is Becky Lynch.
So we got two for Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch, period.
Me?
Yeah.
Chris,
I
what do you
think
think?
Charlotte's gonna win.
Okay.
I think Charlotte's gonna win because she's already on the main roster, and I don't know. I just feel like everyone's seen her enough, and Barclays is such a big arena that most fans there are gonna be WWE fans.
Same exact thing could be said about Becky Lynch, though.
Yes.
All your reasons apply to Becky Lynch as well.
But Charlotte right now is the top dog in
There's
WWE.
as much heat behind Becky Lynch.
But she's like
as
the
there
main
is-
eventer.
As there is Charlotte. Charlotte's a main eventer. Becky Lynch, main eventer. She's
Leaving-
got the
Oh no,
skills,
she is. But I just mean like
But all your reasons apply both ways. So
I'm still going with Charlotte.
And more so,
I think it would just make her look stronger.
more so with Becky Lynch, because upon exiting NXT, Becky Lynch had a hell of a better exit as far as being on the crowd side than
Yeah.
Charlotte did.
Absolutely.
Obviously, her last match with Sasha Banks, match of the year material. And as far as women's wrestling, one of the greatest matches seen in forever. But
That's
again,
true.
it could happen. Charlotte could win. Becky could win. Hopefully, it doesn't plant any seeds of them breaking up the stable already. Because
No,
they
it's-
just
I
started.
feel that it's an NXT match. It's not.
It's not for any
it won't,
gold
it
or
won't
anything,
apply.
yeah.
It won't roll over into that because that's not what.
My final
That's not what the
prediction:
match is about.
Charlotte wins and they group hug. That's it.
There's nothing but sportsmanship
Nick?
with when Charlotte's in the ring. You have to respect it.
Or
Mm-hmm.
they could
She
have
brings
Dana,
out the best of
or
everyone.
they
I'm
could have
gonna-
Emma and Dana Brooke flip out on both of them and cause major heat to
I'm
help their
gonna
stable.
disagree with both of you. I think Dana Brooke is gonna win. Triple H is really invested a lot in her.
And this is the time to push her
This
with
is
Charlotte. and
This is the
Becky
time
Lynch.
to push her. I think we're gonna see probably some more. It won't be a straight up fatal 4-way. We're gonna definitely see some tag team abilities and moves going on between Becky Lynch and Charlotte and Dana Brooke and Emma, because they're
They're established teams right
they're
now.
established teams.
They're
Yeah,
teammates
they're both-
already.
yeah.
But I really think Dana Brooke is going to win it. Do I want her to win? No.
I think that's a solid point.
Yeah,
They
it's a
put
good
so
point.
much into her.
And that would get huge heat, right? So that
Yeah.
would push her into the next level of heel. Even though Dana Brooke's in-ring ability is not great,
She's great.
she has embraced her heel persona.
Yeah.
That she has invested herself in. You can tell, oh, she's such a fucking bitch. She seems very conceited. She's
whole
doing
point.
that role very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even those little interviews she has with Devin Taylor where she pats her on the head. That's, again, a subtle little touch that makes her stand out as far as a heel is concerned. Like you said, if she wins, that will push her, hopefully, into that stratosphere of heel that Sasha was in NXT. That's probably the void they're trying to fill.
Great point,
So overall, we have
So I'm going for Becky Lynch
Charlotte.
Dana Brooke.
Becky
and
Lynch.
Becky Lynch. The last
You're
kicker.
gonna have to write these down. It's like
Well, they're on audio, so
I
yeah,
know,
they're
but-
documented. Okay, so again, that should make for a great match, though, right? All things
Oh,
considered.
it's gonna be a dynamite match. Left to right, it'll be a great match.
Okay, so next match on the card, we've got the debut of Uhaa Nation,
Yes.
christened as Apollo Crews, and he's going to have his debut match against Ty Dillinger, which was Jason Jordan's old tag team partner. Ty Dillinger disappeared after they had that split. He's been doing house shows as of late, and he's got a gimmick now where it's Perfect 10, where he walks around with a card with the number 10 and he rates matches that he's in or sees. It's cute. We've only seen it on TV once. I think it was like 2 weeks ago where you saw him in a match.
Yeah.
Who was it against? Solomon Crow, I think?
Yeah.
Again, not a great match, but
But he's solid enough of a performer
yeah, no, he's good.
To-
He's good, yeah.
to see
But
what.
he doesn't stand out in any way.
He's definitely a mid Carter.
No, low.
Low.
He's a bottom card.
low
guy.
mid.
Low mid card.
He's a bottom
We'll
card
say
guy.
that.
But he's solid enough to gauge a new talent coming in.
Yeah, he'll definitely be
you'll
able
see-
to. He'll gel very well with Uhaa or Apollo, his style. Which again, it'll be interesting to see if they decide to neuter his style again.
They won't. They won't. I don't think they will. I think if Triple H really is in charge, like he did with Kevin Steen Owens, he let him do his thing, except for a couple moves you can't do. But there's no reason to have him not do backflips standing in the ring.
Oh no, they're already showing
I mean,
that in the promos.
There's
for
plenty
it,
of
so he's
moves
doing
that
it.
he could do if they let Neville do it and all that. I think it'll be great, and I could see him a future WWE champion if Vince is dead.
That's
Vince
a
is
that's a
good. All I
fair
got to
point
say.
because so far all the talent coming from NXT going up to the main roster, Vince is gonna have to be dead for any of them to get
Yes.
real shine.
And Kevin Dunn.
Or
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least, and not,
Especially Kevin Dunn.
I don't
Kevin
wish death on upon Vince. Who doesn't love Vince McMahon?
Side note.
But at least step down and let someone else take over.
Or just have him step
Just
into
do
another limo
something
that
else.
blows up and then write him
That's
off.
it.
I will say I'm not a fan of the name Apollo Crews.
No one is.
I think Terry Creed would have been better.
Yeah, right?
But we all know it's
Yeah.
Apollo Creed, Terry Crews. He's a big black dude. And
You know,
I like it.
I mean, again, as far as names that they generate for these wrestlers, it could have been much worse. Apollo Crews isn't bad, but the thing is, I don't see how you can market that name.
It lacks originality.
Well, not just that.
It's not something on its own.
How
Ooh,
can a
ha,
how
ooh,
can a
ha,
crowd
ooh,
chant Apollo Crews, right? What is the chant going to
Maybe
be?
it's Apollo. I don't know.
Crews. Like it's
Don't
not.
die to Russian.
Again.
Don't die to Russians. Don't die.
He already has it with ooh-ha, and that's what people are going to say tomorrow. It's going to be ooh-ha, ooh-ha,
I think no matter
ooh-ha.
how long Apollo Crews stays, his chant's always going to be ooh-ha.
Like I was saying to Aldo earlier,
already there.
I think Uha is going to be his gimmick, but his name is Terry Crews.
Apollo Crews.
Whatever. What's the difference?
I mean, again, this is good though because
Carl
again, he
Weathers
is a
the
very
difference.
he's a very solid wrestler. So me personally, I'm excited to see him in person for the first time. You know, I've seen a few matches on YouTube here and there. Again, for a guy of his size and his musculature,
He's great.
he is a high flyer.
He's amazing.
He has insane agility, and he has insane power. He's both a power guy and and very agile. So, again, ideally, you want him to keep that style. In NXT, you'll likely see it. But again, like you're saying, if he's going to be a future world heavyweight champion down the line, 5 years, 6 years, is he? Are they going to? Vince obviously is going to get turned on by his muscles and want him to be the next Mark
Power.
Henry.
Yeah.
Once Mark Henry
No.
retires, you know.
No.
Not the next Mark Henry,
Well,
but
the next
it's
big
definitely
powerhouse.
it's definitely if he makes it up to the main roster, if he's gonna be a top tier player, his versatility is gonna go out the window. Because they like one-dimensional characters for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean that's the reality of it. I mean maybe like Chris said, if Vince isn't running the show, that might change, and I think that's what they need. They need more diversity in their wrestlers. But you know, I think everyone's prediction here is clear. It's going to be
Apollo
Apollo
Crews.
Crews.
Oh yeah,
It's definitely
there's no
him.
doubt.
It's
There's
his-
no way he's gonna lose.
Yeah.
I just hope it's not a squash match. Let him tell a story in the
Yeah.
ring. So give it at least 10 minutes, right?
Don't let it be a
I
Baron
don't.
Corbin match.
I don't. It'll be
Oh,
a Baron.
God.
It'll be a Baron
I'm gonna be
Corbin
started on
match.
Baron
Is
Corbin.
that next?
It'll be a Baron Corbin.
There's not
That would
enough
be good
time.
if it
There's
was.
not enough time in the podcast for Baron Corbin. Please. I can't.
Well, okay, so we're all in agreement. Apollo Crews.
Apollo
Yes.
Crews.
It should be very interesting to see how the crowd reacts to him.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the next part of the card, we have got Prince Pretty, Tyler Breeze versus Jushin
we know who's
Thunder
gonna win
Liger.
that.
Mr. Regal, I approve of this match.
Again, awesome because this is groundbreaking in a lot of ways. This is the very first time New Japan Pro Wrestling has ever allowed one of their talent to show up in WWE. Jushin has been around for years, for
He's
over
old.
30 years. He's pushing, I think, 53, and he's been wrestling since he was like in his early 20s. So he's been everywhere. He's been in WCW. He's been in ECW.
He's
right?
phenomenal.
Ring of Honor.
No, I
He
don't
is-
think he was in ECW.
Was it?
was he?
He's this match is going to be huge for Tyler Breeze.
I
It's
mean,
what Tyler Breeze needs.
yeah. I mean, again, beyond the fact that this is mind blowing because we're getting Liger, he's going to get an insane reaction.
Oh yeah. It's our second
but
time seeing
It's
him
finally a
live.
huge push for Breeze. Though.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
And
which
he
is what
was
I'm
an
getting
excellent
at.
talent.
Again, Breeze really reminds me of very early rockers, Shawn Michaels, right on that precipice of when he turned heel on Marty Jannetty. He has got a certain factor, right? He had a gimmick that was given to him that by all accounts should have failed miserably, crashed and burned. He went with it. He went to town. He embraced it, and he made it awesome.
And well, that's what's good about NXT though, because if he would have done that on the main roster, it wouldn't.
But not just that. In the ring, he is incredible. He is incredibly agile. He has great ring psychology. He's that type of. He's not even a weasel heel, right? Like he won't relegate
he's
to
great.
to
He's-
cheat to
He
win.
doesn't cheat. Yeah, he doesn't cheat to win. I mean, he is a heel, but he will
He'll
embarrass
hit you
in
with
the
the
ring.
selfie
Yeah.
stick, but yeah.
He will embarrass you in the ring. His technical prowess is
great.
outstanding.
So I mean, he's got so much going for him, and like you mentioned, Mike, before, he kind of has been a little stagnant, right? Ever since the exodus of people like Neville and Sami Zayn, there really wasn't anyone for him to feud with. Again, this is a one-shot deal with Liger, but just the fact that he's facing off against Liger,
That's huge.
and Liger is going to do the right thing and push him and put him over. This is Tyler's match. He's going to win. But him having that victory, which no one else in WWF can ever say,
Yep.
I beat Liger, right?
Well, some of them
people
can
who
say
have
it.
people who have been homegrown WWE guys, right?
Yeah.
Out not counting the guys who have been at WCW or other federations prior. But again, it's going to boost him that much more, and he's going to go places after this. Hopefully, again, I'm hoping that if you remember at the last pay-per-view, he had that WrestleMania entrance with the models coming out.
Yep.
I'm assuming they're going to do something similar tomorrow. He's got a big ramp, so you're going to want to have some kind of over-the-top entrance for a lot of these wrestlers, actually.
Honestly, if he came out with a
That's
harness,
right, we're gonna see Finn
if he
Balor
came out wearing
entrance.
a harness with about 6 selfie sticks
that match
mounted
yet,
to
Chris.
himself,
God.
so you can get 360 selfies, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I love the gimmick. I love Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze wins this match because Jushin's a professional.
And he's going to do the right thing. He knows the business, and he knows what Tyler is and what he can bring to the business in a few years' time. So obviously he's going to put him over because again, Liger losing does absolutely nothing to tarnish his character or his legacy. He is just a legend at this point who is still able to move, unlike some other guys who are still pushing their prime or way past their prime and still wrestling.
I disagree. I mean, not with what you said, but the winner. I think Liger's gonna win
Really? Okay.
because this is his first appearance ever in WWE.
But again, a win
You don't
serves
think he's
him.
just being brought in to
It don't-
give
no.
Tyler
He's an
Breeze
enhancement.
that
No.
boost? He's an enhancement
No,
talent.
I think
exactly.
I think it's gonna boost him because it's gonna be a great match. But I don't think he's gonna Tyler Breeze. Is gonna
But
win.
what does a win for Liger do for him? He's already at the twilight of his career.
I'm just telling you who I think's gonna win. That's all.
But why? Why do you think Liger should win?
I just told you. Because it's his first time ever appearing in
So you think
WWE.
because it's his first time, he'll
Well, Sting didn't win his first match in WWE.
That's different.
How is
Why
that
is it
different?
I don't know. It's just different.
This fucking guy.
Because
I
that was WCW versus WWE.
I don't know.
Basically.
I'm not excited for this match whatsoever. I enjoy Tyler Breeze. I think he is a great character. He's a great storyteller in the ring. But a couple years ago when we saw that Ring of Honor show, I honestly thought that Liger lost a step. And that maybe that's just me. I don't know. I think
keep in mind when you're comparing the Ring of Honor style versus NXT, Ring of Honor is spot after spot after spot, high octane, no pauses. Liger just can't keep up with that pace at his age.
Unlike
that's
true.
With Tyler Breeze.
different production.
They're going to slow him down big time, so he can actually keep up.
That's true, but I mean, at the same time, for me, it's too late. A little too late is what it is. I mean, with the talent that WWE wants to sign, I mean, yeah, they got Liger, and I'm excited for it. I really am. He had some dynamite matches in WCW on Nitro versus Rey Mysterio, Psychosis, Conan. All the older lucha libres that were really good in WCW, and I don't know. I think it's time for him to call it quits. That's just me. No disrespect
Who do you
towards
think's
the
gonna
guy.
win?
Oh, I think Tyler Breeze is gonna win. Liger's a professional. He's gonna push. He's gonna
So
push
if
him.
So we
Liger,
got 3 for Tyler,
I'm
1
still
for
going with
Liger.
Liger.
okay, so I mean, not to rattle the proverbial chain, but
No, go
okay,
right
so,
ahead.
so you're saying he should retire. Okay, that's one thing. So in that same token, shouldn't Undertaker retire? What else does he have to do?
Because Undertaker moves a lot worse than Liger.
Undertaker, and this is going to absolutely kill me to say. I mean, I have an Undertaker tattoo on my fucking arm, for God's sakes. But it's time. And this year in Dallas, it's time. It's time for Taker just to retire. And that absolutely kills me to say, because I have loved The Undertaker since his debut at Survivor Series way back when.
So you weren't a fan of Mean Mark Calloway?
But
I wasn't in. I mean,
legitimately, I know we're getting off topic, but legitimately, I mean, Undertaker just can't. He can't perform at the level in which you would expect the Undertaker to perform.
yeah.
At this stage in his career, if for him to have that gimmick, he's had the
I think he looks
best gimmick.
He looks 10 times better this year than he did at 30.
Sure.
He looks 10 times, and
But he also looks like he can't walk, or when he gets to his knees, he can't stand
well,
up.
I mean,
on
he's
his
also
own.
had double hip replacement surgery, and it is time to call it quits. It is.
It's been for a few years.
It has been, and that absolutely kills me to say because I'm probably one of the biggest Undertaker fans in the whole world. I love him that much, but it's time. It's time. If Sting joined WWE 5 years ago when Undertaker was still full time, that would have been perfect. And then the Undertaker could do 4 to 5 years of his once a year and then call it quits with the likes of John Cena or Randy Orton, because I don't think those two have ever faced off at WrestleMania, and Randy Orton deserves it. But as far as Taker leaving, it is time.
Okay. Now, again, I didn't mean to deviate, but again, it's just kind of the way I feel about that. But, okay, so again, we're all in agreement, or actually not. For the majority of us, we think Prince Pretty's going to win.
Yeah.
Okay, so
He's
moving
the
on.
mayor of Cuteville.
Yeah. Whoever.
He just wants to promote Zoolander too. That's
So
all.
Chris said Liger, right?
Yeah.
So that means he's an Uggo. He's an
That's right.
Uggo.
He's
I'll
an
take
Uggo.
it. I'll take it.
Damn, at his own birthday party.
He's an
That's
Uggo.
cool. That's all right.
All right.
Mr. Regal,
How many
approve
matches
this
we got left?
message.
We got 3. So we're moving on to the next
Let's make
match.
this quicker.
I
which
mean, we
is
can't all agree on everything,
quicker.
really.
Yeah, I got company. I got guests.
Shut the fuck up. It's your fucking birthday.
Shut the fuck up. It's your fucking birthday.
I love it.
All right, so moving on to the next match.
Because you know the Finn Balor match is going to take a long time to discuss.
We have got Samoa Joe versus Baron Corbin, the Lone
Okay,
Wolf.
this one's going to be
I need
quick.
to start. I need to start.
Please.
This is going to be the quickest review of a match because it's going to be like a Baron Corbin match. Baron Corbin is an awful talent. He has no real in-ring ability. He has one move that looks cool, but he's terrible. He has a terrible character. Samoa Joe, kind of overhyped coming in.
Too overhyped.
He's not doing a whole lot with him. So I hope they use this as a point to shoot down Corbin and
Solidify him as a monster.
Solidify
that he should
Samoa
be.
Joe as a monster. Let him beat the crap out of Corbin in less than a minute and get it over
Who do you
with.
think's going to win?
I just said Samoa Joe.
Okay.
Samoa Joe. Again, me, I'm in agreement. Samoa Joe. Baron Corbin, since the beginning, they've kept hyping that this guy has presence and this guy is it.
No.
No, okay.
No.
He sulks in a spotlight, but okay, he's tall. All right, but he moves very stiff in the ring. He is terrible on the mic. His voice does not
He
fit his
sucks.
body type.
He's awful.
He is not intimidating.
I mean,
Yeah.
for
He
a-
has no presence for
for
a
a,
big man.
He has no
for,
presence.
for a big man to have presence, you need to look at two big men. And I mean, I know I'm going to leave somebody out. It should be a lot more, but when I look at big men in WWE, I compare him to Mike Awesome because Mike Awesome could move around the ring, he could fly, Mike Awesome was the total package of big men. I see a lot of that in Big Cass. I don't see any of
Yeah,
that in Baron.
absolutely.
I don't see any of that in Baron Corbin. He's stiff in the ring, and the whole powerhouse thing has been beat to absolute shit. It was great in the 80s, but now fans don't want to see the big guy beat up the fucking little guy.
If they did, half the crowd wouldn't be cheering, or rather booing John Cena. during his
Exactly.
chance.
Exactly.
So that should tell you already the industry is wanting to be away from big men, whether Vince wants to recognize that or not. Chris, your prediction.
Wait, who'd you say is going to win?
Oh, even though I dislike Samoa Joe because of what he did to Tyson Kidd after Tyson Kidd's huge push with Cesaro, it's going to be Samoa Joe. He'll be on the main roster soon enough. I hope to God he's not, but it's going to happen.
And Chris?
Baron Corbin sucks. Samoa Joe right now is not impressive. So this one's tough.
I'm more impressed with Eva Marie than I am with Samoa Joe.
Damn.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, I'm more impressed with Eva Marie.
One
than
thing,
am
one thing I could say
fucking
is
Corbin.
you can't blame Tyson Kidd's injury completely on Samoa Joe because it depends on the opponent who gets in the move.
See, I don't know, but I disagree
So
with
And,
you.
I don't know.
even Tyson apparently chalks it up as a freak accident, and he's not holding any beef
happens.
against
That's
Samoa.
him. That's him being professional.
Yeah.
But
That's
professional,
him
yeah.
being 100% professional. I mean, Bret Hart even said, I mean, I know Bret Hart is kind of a crybaby when it comes to this shit. And that's another thing that kills me to say because I'm a huge Bret Hart fan. But they should have looked at Samoa Joe's finisher before he got to WWE. I mean, they outlawed the goddamn pile
Yeah,
driver.
but how many times has he done that finisher?
How many times has Kevin Steen done the package pile driver?
Yeah, but that's not my point.
But that is
How
kind
many
of your
times has Samoa Joe done that finisher? Has he ever broken anyone's neck?
Has Kevin Steen on record ever?
point. Has
Ever
Kevin
done.
Exactly.
has Kevin Steen ever broken anyone's neck?
No.
no.
Then why
So
can't
why are these moves outlawed?
Undertaker can
Well, my point is,
Undertaker
with the
and-
Tyson Kidd thing.
Undertaker
it
and
was
Kane-
a freak accident. It's
Undertaker
not
and
like
Kane
this-
can still use the Tombstone pile driver. How
Yeah,
come?
that I don't understand, but
Legacy.
Anyway,
That's all it is.
to make it
Grandfather
quick,
did.
I honestly think Baron Corbin's gonna win.
What a douche.
I don't
He's
want
not-
him
He's
to.
not saying he wants Corbin to win. He's
I
just
think
saying
he's
he
gonna
thinks he
win
will
because they're trying so hard to make him look like a badass.
They're-
And if he loses to Samoa Joe, it's almost like
But they're pushing
he's
Joe.
done.
But they're pushing Joe as a badass.
They
and
are.
You know they paid Joe a lot
they
more to get him.
no,
in the
they
building.
are, but everyone already knows Samoa Joe to where he could lose and it ain't gonna hurt him.
It's another situation where
I think Baron Corbin's gonna win, which I don't want him to because I don't like him. And maybe it'll be a good match because honestly, Baron Corbin hasn't faced anyone good. I mean,
Well, that's a,
That-
that's
see,
a
that's-
point.
every
that's
match
a point too,
he's
though.
Well, he had a match with Rhino.
what about with Rhino?
yeah, but Rhino
Hang
don't
on,
count.
hang on.
How does Rhino not count?
Hang on. Rhino's. Come on, guys. Rhino's not a good wrestler.
I
He's a
disagree.
powerhouse.
I
He's
disagree
not
with
the
you.
same wrestler he was.
No, he's not. He's an enhancement talent.
He's not.
now.
He's not anything
But,
near
but
what
Rhino,
he used to be in terms
Rhino's
of
there just
talent-wise.
to help talent
I
get
think
better.
I think Rhino looks better in the ring than Samoa Joe does.
Okay. Interesting view.
Okay.
Either way, I think Baron Corbin's gonna win. Because
I don't think so
because if he loses, honestly, then
What's
he's
the point,
gone.
right?
He's gone. Don't even keep him there.
good riddance. The same thing with Joe though. Like, why are you paying him all this money to have him job to Baron Corbin?
That's true.
Um,
That's my.
you know,
that's why I feel.
I mean,
Joe
again,
will win the match.
I think the reason why they keep pushing Baron Corbin is because he has a very strong female fan base. They are the ones hooting and hollering
that
for
is
him.
true.
All of the males hate him. And again,
I could see them having the meeting, the NXT meeting. Okay, guys, how are we gonna get Baron Corbin? Like, what are we gonna do to make him get bigger? Because right now he ain't working.
Give him another.
Let's put him up against Samoa Joe and have him beat Samoa Joe.
Give him
have
another
face
big-
somebody who's been
Okay, approach it more from a business because business is about financials. Are you gonna pay someone who's considered to be an upper tier talent? Are you gonna pay him a ton of money to have him come in and lose matches to some jobber who's not
one
proven
match.
himself?
One match.
You-
One big
do, but
match.
Do you think that's a? Do you think
Yeah.
that's a good idea?
this is a big match on
if
the
if
biggest
I want to
NXT.
push somebody, yeah.
So on the biggest NXT event thus far,
Yeah.
you will have one of your biggest signees lose a match to Baron Corbin.
I wouldn't.
From a business
But it'll
standpoint, no,
happen.
I said approach it like a business. You're saying it'll happen. Should it happen? Would you make that happen?
If I was high on Baron Corbin, yes.
But how can you be high on it?
I'm not, but I think they are.
But you're not.
I'm not
okay,
talking
but
about me in
You're answering
general.
my question without answering
I hate 'em.
because I said approach it from a business standpoint. So from a business standpoint, would you pay
Yeah.
Samoa Joe a ton of money and have him lose? to
Yeah,
Baron
because he's
Corbin?
already known. He's more known than Baron
So
Corbin
you're
is.
saying
That's terrible.
Baron Corbin is known, but not as
but you
much
brought
as
Samoa Joe in because you want him to go somewhere in the company. So if you have him throw a match to someone like Baron Corbin, you
But
discredit the character
How
altogether.
long has Baron Corbin been in the business?
All
Not
more
not
reason why
NXT,
this
but
should be
in
a-
general.
this should be a
Not as
farewell.
long as Samoa Joe.
This should be a
Samoa Joe's
farewell.
been in it for a
I
while.
don't know. I know Imp's pick, so in my best Imp voice, I'm going to say his pick. Yo, I really think Samoa Joe's going to fucking win, yo, because, I mean, he's just a dynamite wrestler in the ring, yo. I'm telling you. And I can't wait for that Blake and Murphy
He's
match,
got
yo.
dynamite areolas.
Dynamite. Okay, so, all right, so that's that. All right, enough on the Corbin hate. So now we're moving on to the double main event. We got two main events tomorrow.
Once again, I'm the only one who picked a different.
Well, it's your fucking birthday.
He's
that's
healed.
why.
He's healed. today.
No, I'm not heel. I'm just trying to figure
All
out.
right. So for the women, we got Bailey, the Hugger, versus the Boss, Sasha Banks, for the NXT Women's Title. So I think logically, from a booking standpoint, obviously Sasha's in the main roster now. So you're going to want to pass that baton to Bailey to give her the belt.
Well deserved.
And
Yeah.
yeah, she's been putting in a lot more work as of late. Before she was kind of here and there, nothing really standing out about her. But again, my pick is for Bailey because you're going to want to give her that win, especially after Sasha's been taunting her, making her look like she's a joke. Sasha's not taking her seriously. So it's that classic
underdog story.
where Bailey should, by all accounts, win and get that belt and then take the Divas division, women's division, on NXT to the next stage.
Yeah, there's no butterfly belt in NXT.
No, I
although
feel-
I'm just going to say that.
So I'm going for Bailey. But again, I'm sure one of you guys will probably postulate the fact that
I'm sorry, I
in
got
Sasha's favor. So I guess I'll start with you, Mike.
Well, I feel that, I mean, Bailey, I like her story. Her character's going through some ups and downs, but she's the kind of person, she's got crazy perseverance, right? She's got major drive, and she's improved leaps and bounds since coming in. I think you're absolutely right. With Sasha moving up to the main roster, I think this is the opportunity to put Bailey over. To help reestablish, establish your talent that's going to be left after the main roster moves. That being said, I think Bailey's put in a lot of work. She's improved leaps and bounds. I still don't think she's ready for the title. I don't think she's clean enough in the ring. I don't think she's fluid enough.
Okay.
And I think she still misses a good deal of spots. Whether it's her fault or her opponent's fault, but she hasn't seemed to gel well with many people. I mean, she had a great match against Charlotte. I mean, those two gel really well together. Charlotte brings out the best in any athlete that she faces, but I mean that's just my opinion. I don't think she's quite at champion level, but this is the opportunity to put her over.
Okay. And Nick, what say you?
Well, I look at this match from two different angles. Can the NXT Women's Champion still be on the main roster and still do NXT? Both types of matches. That's a pretty busy, big schedule to do. Who do I want to win? I want Bailey to win, obviously. I think she deserves it. I think she's looking better than ever right now. Like Mike said, I still think she is a little green in the ring. And I do want her to win. I mean, she does look and remind me exactly of my fucking cousin. So, I'm going to go with Sasha Banks for that match.
Sasha Banks. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
You're gonna take my chair like that?
This chair's
Sit
more...
down so we can finish this.
This chair is more big man friendly. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah, that's the truth.
Dirty.
So, what do you say, Chris? Sasha Banks versus Bailey?
Bailey.
Bailey? Okay. Any reason why, or just...
It just don't make sense for her to lose because they need to push her because Sasha's leaving. She's gone pretty much. It's
Okay.
pointless.
Yeah, I mean, again, Sasha has been an amazing champion for the time that she has been champion, which isn't that long, in all honesty.
But it's hard to coexist on both.
But yeah, I mean,
Bailey needs to win.
if
That's
she's
it.
doing SmackDown, she's doing Raw, she's doing Superstars main event.
And the champion needs to be on every episode.
Yeah.
So it's like.
So,
how do
I
you-
mean, again, her losing, dropping the belt to Bailey, gives more fuel to the fire. The rumors that they want to do a Divas tag team belt.
Yeah.
So then that way she can move on to that.
God, please.
You know?
Finally.
That'd be great. Okay, so again, mostly we're in favor of Bailey, right?
Three Bailey, one Sasha.
One Sasha. Okay. And I actually totally forgot about the other tag team match, Vaudevillains versus Blake and
Yeah.
Murphy. There was no picture for it. It's just in text in the
Yeah.
picture, so I totally forgot.
Vaudevillains all the way. They need it.
Vaudevillains.
They need to win
I'm
that
saying
belt.
Vaudevillains because Blake and Murphy yes, they've kicked their gimmick game up. I mean, they're a little more entertaining now, but they're still way too vanilla. I don't find them to be an appealing draw. I find them to be very, very one-dimensional tag team. And if they didn't have Alexa Bliss, they'd be
nowhere. Yeah,
they'd be nowhere. She's bringing life to that team.
They are. Look, they're good in the ring, right? But the problem is, they just have no charisma. They have no presence to them.
And they're not manly.
They're not manly. And yeah, Alexa Bliss has bumped them to relevance, which they haven't been in a while. So I'll agree as well. I'll say vaudevillains.
Yes,
for sure.
It's going to be a tough one for me to call. I don't know.
Oh, If's going to hate you. If it's going to hate you right now.
Like, come on, man.
I think it's the chair, to be honest with you. I don't know. Who do I want? I want the
be manly
villains to win. But at the same time, I think Blake and Murphy are going to keep the titles. They're not going up to the main roster anytime soon. And I honestly think that Enzo and Big Cass, if they're not going to the main roster, they will beat Blake and Murphy for the titles.
I was just going to say that. If you had that, I knew that was your
reasoning. Yeah, but didn't the Vaudevillains have a pretty good
Vaudevillains were on their way for the title before they had their little break going. So, I mean, that being said, I still feel the Vaudevillains are going to win these titles because, Vaudevillains
and they've been there long enough. They deserve it.
Vaudevillains did have a good feud going with Enzo and Cass, so maybe that's how Enzo and Cass get the belts. They take on Vaudevillains.
Yeah, I mean, again, Vaudevillains winning the belts from Blake and Murphy, it's not going to hurt Blake and Murphy because, again, the only reason people care about them right now is Alexa Bliss. They're not going to lose Alexa Bliss. So if the Vaudevillain win, that'd be great because, again, they deserve it. Their feuds have kind of been stagnant as of late, but outside of their program right now with Blake and Murphy, you're rooting for them. And they're manly, right?
They are manly.
Are you ready for the "This Is Manly" chant in Barclays?
It's going to be good. It's going to be a good chant. Oh, God, more liquor.
These aren't your, copies, are they?
Doubles.
All right, so again, just to confirm, I'm going Vaudevillains. Mike, you're going
Vaudevillains.
Vaudevillains all the way. That was manly.
I'm going with Blake and Murphy.
Blake and Murphy. All right.
That's the one match that we're probably going to get kicked out of the show at because of Inf, but whatever.
Really? Oh, shit. Yeah,
yo, fuck Blake and Murphy.
Yo, I'm just gonna yell.
You guys are just in time for the main event.
Fuck those sweet boys, yo.
We're talking NXT TakeOver tomorrow. All right, so after that, again, I totally forgot about that match. We're going on to the main event. We are going Kevin Owens challenging Finn Balor, the Demon. Well, he's going to be the Demon tomorrow. Let's be serious. In a ladder match for the NXT Heavyweight Championship. So, again, for me, obviously Balor is going to win because Kevin Owens is feuding with everybody and their mother currently. But again, this is his swan song for NXT. On an official note, right? He might show up once every blue moon for something, but this is his last high-profile match in NXT before he permanently stays in the main roster. So, Finn Balor,
started.
Obviously, him winning against Owens in Tokyo was a huge moment, right? And Balor, actually, before that, he was kind of stagnant too, as far as with feuds. He had his mini feud with Hideo Itami. He didn't really go anywhere. But then this program he had with Kevin Owens kind of lit a fire under him. And he's moved on to that next level. And at the Barclays Center, seeing the Demon entrance in an arena style for the first time is going to be something quite magical.
Absolutely.
And this is a field test too, because again, it's only been done in the Full Sail University in house shows. Yeah. Well, he hasn't done the Demon entrance in house shows. Yeah. So this will be a true test to see. This is like a WrestleMania beta test for Finn Balor's entrance to see how well it works.
I think it's a WrestleMania beta test for NXT in general.
Yeah, although get in there.
Right. But yeah, I'm gonna say Finn Balor wins. It's gonna be a hell of a match, though.
Who?
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor.
He's gonna win, but it's gonna be a hell of a match. I'm assuming they're probably gonna give a good half hour to this match.
I think it's gonna be more. I think
It could be more.
I'm gonna go with 40 minutes.
It's going to
on
blow
that.
the roof off. But yeah, I'm in favor of the Demon. But again, it's not going to hurt Owens in any way. It's his swan song to NXT before he permanently becomes a main fixture on the main roster. And it's going to be a hell of a match. So
I think you're absolutely right. I think this is more of a farewell for Kevin Owens for NXT. I think he'll be he's main roster. He's feuding with everyone. He's the kind of talent where, he's going to be great. He's far ahead of the rest. And Finn he's really risen to the named champion. I mean, he's really upped his own game, and his presence is outstanding. I can't wait to see the Demon entrance. And that's gonna be a long match. It's gonna be a great match. There's gonna be a lot of craziness in it.
I must say,
And I want to see coup de grace off the ladder.
this is my first ladder match.
I want to see coup de grace off
Coup
the
de
ladder.
grace, yeah.
Wow.
It's gonna happen.
and could it be off the ring, like out on the mat, like on the floor? Hey,
God
who knows,
bless his
right?
knees if he lands it.
Could this be the next, Scott Hall, Shawn Michaels, like that next match
Fuck
you'll
you.
talk about in 10 years,
This
like
fucking-
Balor and Owens.
Saw that
right?
shit live, bastard.
But
Absolutely.
yeah.
So I'm picking Finn. I think Finn stays champ.
Yep.
And this is a great farewell, an official farewell for KO for NXT.
I also go with Finn, and this will be my first ladder match live, and
How about
that's gonna
that?
be great.
Me too.
And
Plus of that.
we'll finally get to see the Demon's entrance live. Like
That's gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be awesome, especially in New York.
And
I think no
especially
matter
in
what
bar
happens in the
plays.
match, the entrance is going to
Yeah.
steal the show.
And what body paint is he gonna wear?
I'm
Maybe
assuming
we'll
they're-
change it up.
I would love for them to do,
Venom?
something Carnage or Venom, yeah, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, there's copyright issues with that, guys.
It could be a black scheme with the white.
Well, I mean, Rey
Yeah.
Mysterio did it with his mask. I mean, he was doing Spider-Man.
He was doing
and all that
Flash,
shit.
Captain
So why
America.
not? You said
Because
that. You said that.
because times have changed and people want money for things more.
No, this was not long ago.
Well, he used to do it for
Long enough ago.
WrestleMania. Like in
Long enough
WrestleMania
ago.
match, he would come out with super
Right,
They
so
could
for
get the rights.
WrestleMania, they get rights for stuff. I mean, that's what they do. So you can only bring it out X
for that
amount
one
of times.
time. Yeah,
I don't think this is a time where Finn gets permission to use
this
Venom
is the
or-
WrestleMania of NXT though. Currently,
it
right?
is.
This is it.
Triple H was the fucking Terminator. Why not?
Yeah.
I guess
Okay,
you're right.
so we're 3 for Balor right now. Nick, what do you say, Balor or KO?
KO wins. Because I'm in a different chair now. I don't know. Who's going to win this.
You have to pick.
I have to pick, so I'm going to go with my boy Kevin Owens. Plain and simple. I'm going to be the bastard of the group, I guess.
I want to be clear on something.
What?
Though my pick is Balor, doesn't mean I want KO to win this match.
Even after the spoiler we saw.
Oh.
But you know it ain't true.
I'm not even talking about spoilers. Like, let's just not even get into that.
I didn't even read the spoilers, so
My-
I don't even know.
I'm a KO guy.
It's not a
I
spoiler.
want KO.
Taping.
Yeah.
But I'm not making picks with what I want. I'm making picks with.
I'm making picks on who I think is going to win.
Now let me throw another curveball. Since this is NXT Barclays, same place as SummerSlam the night after, do you think that it may not be a clean win? Someone may interfere, like say Cesaro
Sami Zayn.
or Sami Zayn.
A Sami
to-
Zayn return.
Yep.
That's exactly
Which I
what I was
said.
cost
thinking.
KO the match, or even a John Cena to
No,
come out.
I don't think
and
so.
If
interfere
Cena
with
comes
this.
out in an NXT show,
That would be
never
the
going
heel.
to an NXT show again.
I don't want it to happen,
No.
but
I would want it to happen because
see
that
Cena
would
go
be
heel?
that would be the way of Cena turning
Cena's in the
heel.
twilight
But it
of
ain't
his
gonna
career. He
happen.
ain't
but,
going heel,
but
bro.
you know Vince wants Cena to show up on NXT for that one moment, and this could be it.
I don't think that's the right moment.
I'm not saying it is
because
either, but it's,
because you're putting Cena in a heel position, and I don't think they want that.
Yeah.
yeah. All
I
right.
would-
Proof
I
is in
would
the
want
pudding
that.
there. I would
But-
want it too. I think
but-
Cena's. I think Cena would. I don't know. I might actually just. I won't say cheer for Cena, but I might not. I might not boo Cena if he was a heel.
Yeah.
I might not boo him as hard.
You had a good
Yeah,
point
I'd
though with
still
Sami Zayn, even though according to the
He's
doctors,
been
apparently he's
distant.
not cleared until next year. That's what he said. Again, that was in storyline though. That was in a promo
Consider
on TV.
this. Consider this. You're forgetting about Tommy.
That's true.
Hideo Itami,
Yeah,
again,
where's
then-
yeah.
Tommy could be a factor.
And again,
In that
they
match.
never said who attacked Itami. everybody pointing their finger at KO. Kevin Owens never said it, right?
And Tommy was feuding with Finn, so
Yeah, you guys could talk.
maybe if Tommy interferes, maybe KO picks the belt.
But do you
gets the
think
belt from it.
think Balor should instead have a clean win? Ideally.
Ideally, I would want my champion to get a clean win over KO to establish that I'm the man, I'm the champ, I'm the man to beat.
If a lot of people don't realize is Finn Balor was a heel as a Fergal Devitt.
Oh yeah.
In Japan.
Yeah, and Bullet.
He was a
Bullet
leader of the
Club,
Bullet
bro.
Club, which is a heel club.
Bullet Club.
And you see Finn still doing the Bullet Club everywhere. So
He did it when he won the belt.
it's very easy for him to go back to being a heel.
Well, remember he won the belt in Japan, so
Japan.
of course he's gonna pay respect.
So
There's that, but I think him being a heel champion.
I see him becoming a heel very soon.
I don't see it happening tomorrow, but that's a very interesting twist. And if it did happen, people wouldn't expect it, right? So it'd be a very shock factor type of thing. But again, he's facing a heel, the biggest heel in the industry right now, in Kevin Owens. So him going heel there wouldn't be ideal. It would have to be against somebody like an Itami, somebody that he's friends with or has a camaraderie with, to have that shock factor go even more.
Like Kevin Owens and
Kevin
Sami
Owens
Zayn.
used Sami
Same
Zayn to
thing,
get
yeah.
right. It would make
K-
more sense.
KO is going to have the crowd, though. That New
Oh,
York,
yeah, it's New York.
New York, independent wrestling crowd. They know Kevin Steen, they know KO, so it's gonna be his crowd.
And I don't think it. I mean, unfortunately, I don't. It's definitely going to be his crowd. I don't see him walking away with the belt.
No, but
Definitely not. But he will have the crowd. It's his home turf. Home
like
turf.
if it's like his swan song. So afterwards, he might,
It's gonna
he
be
might
a
do
back.
little-
It's gonna be a back and forth crowd, really.
Yeah, but
There's
I'm
gonna
saying-
be.
No, I don't think that. I think KO's got the crowd the whole way.
I think he's gonna do his little thank you afterwards to the NXT crowd. Like,
It's gonna be back and forth.
Okay, so just to summarize, I'm going with Balor. Mike, you're going with
Balor.
Balor. Balor for Chris. Nick, you're going with KO.
I'm going with. The only thing I hope is that this ladder match is as good as the last ladder match I saw live. That's
And
the-
which match was that?
That was at WrestleMania 10. Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon.
Fuck you. Next.
So Gil,
just
we
kidding.
got a special guest in Gil who walked in.
bastard. You son
You're
of a
going
bitch.
with
I'm going with Finn Balor.
Finn Balor.
Hey, I saw Royal Rumble.
Okay.
You did.
I don't see KO winning the belt.
But John
You
Cena.
want to give a
won.
prediction?
I saw an Elimination Chamber match.
All right.
Did you?
Yeah, New Year's
All right, so
Revolution.
yeah,
a couple years
either
ago.
way, no matter how you slice it, it's going to be an amazing match. Ideally, it's going to be a match we're going to talk about for years to come.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very defining factor for NXT and what they can bring to the table. And again, Finn Balor's entrance is going to be something mind-blowing. Because
Yes.
having been to the Barclays Center before, I can tell you, they have an amazing sound system there. It's a new arena, so everything's top of the line there. So it should sound awesome.
It will.
One question real quick. Since this is Kevin Owens' swan song, will we see the package power driver?
No.
I don't think so.
They won't let him do
I
it
don't
one
think
last
so.
time before he comes into the main show and be like, where we won't see it
If
at all.
he does the package
If we
power
ever see
driver
it-
and injures the NXT champ, he ain't
Well,
going to the roster.
If he does
ain't
it,
staying on the
he's
main
going to get
roster.
fined
If
$15,000.
he ever does it, what I'm saying, if he ever does it, it would be in NXT. We're not going to see him in NXT again.
Gil's got a point.
I don't see it happening.
As much as I would fucking love to see that.
Oh man.
And I
Well,
would-
I would say no because you haven't even
Pile
seen
driver off
a
the ladder.
simple standard pile driver in NXT. If we've seen at least a normal pile driver, then yes. But
just
they
saying,
banned it
we're-
in every fucking
We will
league
never see it in
at all.
Well, who was the last guy who did it? CM Punk, right?
CM Punk versus John Cena a
And
couple
then-
years
Yes,
ago.
and it was
And
on.
then-
It was on.
It's on
was
Monday
it
Night Raw.
WrestleMania? It was on Raw. Yeah.
And again, CM Punk was immediately fined what, $15,000?
I think it was like 15
But
grand.
but it should have to do with the opponent. If they agree to do it, then let them fucking do
I
it.
don't know. Maybe because Triple H is running it, we could see it tomorrow night.
It's freaking no.
If-
it ain't gonna
And then
happen.
he'll get fined 15 by Vince.
Oh, yeah, because Triple H doesn't have 15 grand in
It
his
ain't
back
happening.
pocket.
Owens
Case
wins.
closed.
If
It ain't
they
happening.
so happen to let him win that way then.
Yeah, that'd
And
be
hit
the only
package
way.
power driver
That's
and-
a good
Off
point.
the ladder.
No way. Hell no.
onto thumbtacks and everything.
Come on,
but-
man.
All right,
Package
so
powerbomb off the ladder.
Package powerbomb would be nice on the ladder.
in summary, this is going to be quite the amazing show.
Yes, and we will be there.
Outside of maybe one or two iffy matches that we, but as a whole, the card is something that if you've been a fan of NXT for the past couple months, the past couple years,
Minus Baron Corbin, it's a great card.
a lot of things to look forward
Oh,
to.
don't forget.
And it'll be very interesting to see how the New York, Brooklyn crowd just
They're nice to look at.
gives huge reactions to these stars who deserve it, right? So I think in closing, anybody tomorrow night who is not watching NXT TakeOver live,
You're missing out.
I can describe them. What is it?
Hey,
I got one word to describe them.
and
I'm gonna spell it out for you.
S
A-W-F-T. So